All right, no intro today. No intro, no witty like intro and such. Um, I'm just going to get right into it. So the Thunder, as the title suggests, the Thunder have blown the doors off of Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets to clinch their first conference finals berth since 2016. Ironically, with the guy you see on the right side of my screen in Russell Westbrook. Shout out Russell, though. It must have been sort of bittersweet for a lot of OKC fans because, Russell built that arena. He built, I know they call it Paycom Center now, but I still call it Chesapeake. This is kind of like Staples Center and all those other arenas. Frostbank Center is still AT&T Center to me. I don't really care. So, but that shout out to Russell Westbrook. I think his number will get retired by Oklahoma City when it's all said and done. And they'll forever appreciate Russ for all the things he's done for him throughout the years. Anyways, that aside, the Thunder just delivered a major ass whooping, bruh. They delivered the biggest ass whooping too. And I think the thing about this though, bro, is that I honestly thought Denver was I don't think they're gonna run away with it, but they were obviously gonna keep it competitive, but they jumped out to a 21-10 lead, which was impressive. You dig what I'm saying? But the moment I sensed trouble was when Russell Westbrook throws the ball out of bounds. I think he threw it behind Nikola Jokic when Jokic tried a post-up steal on Alex Caruso, who, shoot, man. I have a lot of respect for Jokic, but Caruso dogged him whenever he was on Joker. You would think that a guard cannot body a center, especially a center of Joker's caliber, but Alex Caruso did the damn thing, bro. Straight, I don't want to say, well, I guess you could say he body slammed him, but straight punked him, bro, in defensively in the low post. I understand, me being a Laker fan, I know what Caruso's made of. Caruso's a tough mother effort now. You're not gonna get by him easily, no matter who you are. You could be Kevin Durant, LeBron James himself. If Caruso's guarding you, he's gonna give you everything he had, bro. He's gonna give you everything he had. So major props to AC and his defensive prowess the whole entire series. You know what I'm saying? But man, bro, but if you're the Nuggets, this is just a major ass whooping. I think Richard Jefferson and Doris Burke on the telecast were also saying that the issue with Denver the last couple of years was a lack of depth. Last year against the Minnesota T-Wolves, you could tell that even with their championship starting five with Jamal, KCP, Mikey Porter, Gordon, and Jokic, you could tell that Mikey Malone had to rely on his starters, play his starters heavy minutes because Reggie Jackson wasn't giving you anything. Justin Holiday wasn't giving you much, even though he was definitely somewhat of a positive when he came off the bench. Strawther couldn't do anything. DeAndre Jordan and all these other guys, you name them. Whoever was on that Nuggets bench last year did not do enough to spell Joker and Jamal a lot of minutes, and that's why they ended up faltering in that Game 7 the way they did, even when they went up 22. But and it was the same issue this year. And in truth, this was kind of an issue in the Clippers series as well. The Clippers, they were just old. I have no other way to put it. The Clippers were a damn good team. But they forced a Game 7 against the Denver Nuggets. They just got beat. And I said it in my playoff preview series with the Nuggets and the Clippers. The Clippers have a better team, and they're better depth-wise than Denver. Denver just caught them with their pants down, and guys like James Harden and Norman Powell picked the worst possible time to have a very bad night. James didn't really shoot the ball. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that too much because y'all can check out my series recap video on the Nuggets Clippers series. You can look it through my timeline. But the point I'm trying to make here is that depth wasn't really an issue in the Clippers series because the guys played way above their heads, especially in that Game 7. But in parts of that series and parts of this particular series, depth was starting to become an issue. Because when you have Kawhi dropping 39, you have Shai Gilgeous dropping 30 plus, Jalen Williams having the game he had, James Harden helping the Clippers stave off elimination in that Game 6 with 28. You could tell that At some point in time, the Nuggets were gonna kind of falter in the end. Thankfully, it wasn't against the for them. It wasn't against the Clippers in that fateful Game 7. Here, it did them no good because because the Clippers played at the same type of pace Denver plays, while OKC loves to speed up the tempo. I know Russ gives a jolt of energy and he'll boost the tempo as well. But I think when it comes to facing a team like OKC, they want you to play at their pace. They want you to play at their pace because why? It tires you out. It tired Jamal out. It tired Jokic out. Aaron Gordon had a hamstring injury which hampered him for the rest of Game 6 and especially in this Game 7 too. So if you're a Nuggets fan and you happen to watch this video, please answer me this question in the comments. Where do you think Denver goes? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Denver bounces back and gets better next year? Because, since the firing of Mikey Malone, I said this in my playoff preview video, and I made my separate vid about talking about the Mikey Malone firing. I thought the firing Mikey Malone was going to be bad for the Nuggets culture because he built that culture. Yes, Jokic was there to pretty much set it in stone, but the Nuggets culture as we know it now doesn't happen without the hiring of Mikey Malone. That's just my opinion. But David Adelman actually did a pretty good job sustaining that. His team just got the brakes beat off them. But even with that, I don't know where they go. Like, I don't know their cap situation. I explained it in my Boston vid on Friday night. I don't know where Boston go. I don't know where Denver goes from here because their cap situation's kind of screwy too. I don't think it's Boston level screwy. I don't even think that it's Suns level screwy. But they definitely have a lot of decisions to make if they want to really improve their roster. And in my opinion, I think they have to get rid of Mikey Porter Jr. Because Mikey Porter, yes, he had a lot of good games in the Clippers series and he had a couple of good games in the Thunder series, but overall he's way too inconsistent. And whatever money he demands and whatever money's in his contract, it's too much for a player of his caliber. I'm sorry. And Mikey Porter throughout this series was becoming more and more of a net negative. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like there were times when MPJ was off the floor, the Nuggets looked slightly better. Now I'm not going to place all the failure on Mikey Porter's shoulders because at the end of the day, the Nuggets as a team lost, and obviously when you sub out Jokic in the second quarter, OKC goes on an immediate 13-0 run, and they blew the game open from then and there, right? So the thing about Denver is this: I do not know where they go. I don't know how they get better. David Adelman's shown a lot of potential that he could be a pretty head coach in this league for years to come, but I still think losing Mikey Malone, obviously it probably won't change anything in this series because the issues was still been there. I don't think neither Mikey or David could have done anything to help their roster at all, but getting rid of those guys, him and Calvin Booth, I don't know. The Nuggets, they have a lot of questions this offseason that need to be answered, and potentially this could be this past Game 7 that we all just watched could be the last game you see Jamal Murray, Mikey Porter, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic all together. Russell Westbrook may not be on the Nuggets next year. He may go back to Oklahoma City for like for his final 2 years of his career to cap off an amazing career. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it too is that Jokic cannot do it by himself. It's obvious. And Charles Barkley even said, Doris Burke, they all pointed out that Jokic cannot do it by himself. Someone needs to come in and spare him minutes. And I was talking to my dad about this earlier. What the hell is the point of signing Dario Saric and DeAndre Jordan when they're just going to be part of the NBA's practice squad, is what I call it. They don't even play minutes anymore. Once upon a time, Dario was a key rotational piece with Torrey Craig, who we just saw got his ass beat by three of his old best friends from Phoenix. What the hell is the point of signing those guys if they're just going to be nothing but practice squad players? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. The Nuggets, they might be screwed, honestly. Maybe not Suns level screwed, but they might be Celtics level screwed, because if they want to get back to where they were 2 years ago, They really need to figure out how the hell to retool, because that's what they're. I think that'll be better for Denver. So let's move on to Oklahoma City. I have been banging on the doldrums for OKC because yes, I'm a Laker fan. Everyone's saying, "Oh, the Lakers in 5." I even got again. I brought this dude that I once considered my friend. I told him that OKC is better than we think. They're not just some fraudulent regular season team. They're not the Cleveland Cavaliers who they overachieved in the regular season, but I always knew deep down that they were not as good as people thought they were. But with OKC, it's a different story because, Shea got better, J Dub got better, Chet got better. Their defense as a whole improved a lot. And you can credit guys like Hartenstein, especially my man Alex Caruso, who I still got love for in LA. Hey, Lakers, if you want to trade Austin Reeves, please get Caruso back. That's all I care about. If you want to trade Reeves, just swap him for Caruso, and I will live peacefully with that. But no, seriously, I've been telling people that. Well, I try to act like a delusional Laker fan and trolling people saying, "Oh, Lakers in 5, we have beat OKC, we'll beat any team in the West, well, eliminating all y'all." But that's just me trolling. I really don't mean that. It's just me trolling people. But deep down, OKC was one tough effing team, bro. OKC was always a tough team, and they deserve their respect. Like I know people were obsessed with like Shannon's Lakers in 5, which it got so stale and corny over time, and obviously he's in hot water, with the whole divorce court thing. Hint, hint. But OKC, I told people that they're not going to be an easy out. If the Lakers beat them, it's not going to be as easy as people think. There's a reason why this team is the best team in the NBA. I understand because I said this with the Cavaliers. We saw this with teams like the 2022 Suns, the 2023 Bucks, the 2018 Toronto Raptors, the 2010 Cavaliers, the 2016 Spurs. Even though they were the second seed, they were a 60-win team. The 2007 Mavs. I get it, but not all 60-win teams are created equal. Right? Some just play out of their minds in the regular season, and then they just absolutely have nothing left for the playoffs, and they flame out in the playoffs, or just lack of coaching adjustments. There were like spots at the end of the regular season or the middle of the season where there's no coaching adjustments, yada, yada, yada. But Oklahoma City is a tough effing team, and I don't understand why people don't give Oklahoma City the respect they deserve. Because it's like I said in my T-Wolves video, like y'all, to all y'all people that think that OKC and the Wolves are just gonna lose just because LeBron, because they face LeBron, they face Steph, even though those guys are old. Do you guys just want these young teams to lose forever because they're not Steph, LeBron, and KD? Like, come on, guys, let's be real and give this team the flowers they deserve because they made it this far for a reason, and they're about to clinch their first conference finals since 2016 and potentially their first NBA finals since 2012. They've been OKC fans have been dying to get to that point, bro. 13 long ass years. A lot has changed. Russ, James Harden, KD, Russ, KD, and Ibaka, Russ and Oladipo and Sabonis, Russ, Melo, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George, Russ and PG. And then they turn their stuff around. They got Chris Paul with Shea Gilgeous. They trade Chris to Phoenix. The Thunder were bad for 4 or 5 years. They made it back to the postseason in 2023 where they got outed in against Minnesota. And then the next year they got outed in 6 by the Dallas Mavericks with Luka. So it's just like the Nuggets had a lot of experience. And I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I don't think, Golden State can compete with them, for example, next year. But that championship experience didn't do them any good this game because they needed the guys that helped get them there. And the problem is they let every single last one of those guys go. Every single last one of those guys go. One to Houston, the other made a stop from Indiana, Toronto, and now with the Pelicans, and the other just signed a 2-3 year deal with the Orlando Magic, and he could even get traded from there as well. So yeah, it's just like it doesn't make sense, bro. OKC is a good team, and they could be a great team. And I think would I be surprised if Oklahoma City wins it all? No, they deserve it. Even though I would love to see the Knicks win, because New York winning a championship would do so well for the sport, because they haven't won one since '73. Indiana, I'd be very happy for, because I love Halliburton and Turner and all those guys. I'd be happy for my man Ant and Dante Alshante and Randall, the former Laker, and yada yada yada. But OKC, I won't be surprised if OKC wins it, because if they do, they deserve it. They deserve it. With all the disrespect they've gotten all year, winning a championship will solidify them earning their respect. I think they should even get their respect now. They deserve our respect now, even if they fall short, because this team is not going to go anywhere. Even if they lose in the conference finals, I guarantee you they will be back in this same position next year, and they make the finals next year if they don't make it this year. Kind of like the Celtics. They lost in 2023, and a lot of people, myself included, thought, oh yeah, this team, they're never going to win a ring. And then boom, they made it to the mountaintop and won banner number 18 in their first title since 2008. So I just want to go on that quick little rant there, because some of these people, we're not all basketball experts, and I'll admit my knowledge on the game is flawed at times too. So it's just like we let the teams play. Let the teams play. All right. I'm sorry I had to go on that little tangent there, but going back to Oklahoma City, they have chinks in their armor for sure. I did say that. I covered it in my Celtics video, that there is a lot of chinks. There are some chinks in OKC's armor that none of their players. What happened here? Game 6, SGA got into foul trouble and the offense gets stagnant. Obviously, you could apply that to any player, but I think with OKC in particular, they don't have a backup point guard to help really spell SGA those minutes. The guys can initiate offense, but that's more so initiating offense by committee, and they did a really good job of it this game. Caruso did well, Aaron Wiggins did well, Kaysen Wallace did well, and they all play, and they're all just a great defensive unit. But all in all, Minnesota, this ain't going to be a cakewalk. Like, as much as I love SGA, Dort's going to be the primary defender on Anthony Edwards. I guarantee you that. He will definitely be the primary POA on Ant. And then Shai Gilgeous will guard either Conley or Jaden. And then J-Dub and Holmgren and Hartenstein, they guard whoever they guard. Hartenstein's going to be on Gobert for sure. But I think the one chink in the armor is that whenever their star gets, any of their key players get into foul trouble or any of their key players get cold, their offense goes stagnant, because there really isn't a backup point guard to really to initiate offense, to help take pressure off of Shai. They just all do it by committee. Kaysen had 5 assists, Caruso has 3, Wiggs has 3, and all that other stuff. So I do have, if you guys ask me, my prediction for this series between the Wolves and the Thunder, it's going to be tough because I like both teams for different reasons, but I would have to give the edge to probably Minnesota. I think Minnesota, I think a lot of chinks in the armor were exposed against Denver. I think it's on Minnesota to just capitalize on it. Again, that doesn't take away from the fact that I have major respect for this OKC team and what they have done and how they've grown as a unit the last 2-3 seasons. It changes nothing how I feel about this OKC team. But I feel like they have chinks in their armor that I feel like Denver sort of exposed, but I think Ant and the Wolves will capitalize on it. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, and OKC just dominates Ant and the Wolves. OKC dominates Ant and the Wolves. So that's that right there. But SGA deserves the MVP. Regardless, this Thunder team deserves your respect. It has definitely earned mine. And Jokic, I think he may have fallen short of 200. And last point about this whole series before I kind of do a little bit of I do a quick take about the Pacers-Knicks series. I'll go a little more in depth. But Jokic fell short of joining Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Elgin Baylor, and Oscar Robertson as players that had 200 points, 80 rebounds, and 50 assists in a single series. Every single last one of them came up short. Jokic joins those players. I know he fell 1 point short, but he joins those lists of players. That's great company. Unfortunately, yeah, all Hall of Famers, all winners at one point. They've all won a championship, but that's still elite company in a losing effort. And I think, and Jokic was first. He was first in like field goal attempts. Like I saw something on Basketball Forever. This stat blew my mind, bro. So through the 14 games he's played, 7 against the Clippers and 7 against the Thunder, Jokic is first in playoff points. He is also leading in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, double doubles, triple doubles, and field goals. That's amazing. Jokic, I don't think he'll win the MVP, but I wouldn't be mad if he did, bro. But I don't think he'll win MVP because they would have announced it during the series. But that's amazing, man. But that's even more so why he needs more adequate help. They should get Bruce Brown back. Bruce Brown has hinted that he would love to run it back with Denver. But man, that's heartbreaking, bruh. But I don't know. Season ends for Denver after today. Thunder move on and advance to the conference finals. Congrats to the Thunder, and my respect for you for Jokic grew even more this series. My respect for MPJ absolutely decreased. My respect for Russell, because he was one of my favorite. He's still one of my favorite players. But throughout middle school and high school, Russ made me fall in love with the game of basketball too. Even at points where I was very critical of him. But yeah, man, this was Denver has a lot to think about. But in the meantime, let's go to the other side and let me give a quick preview on what I'm expecting to see in the Knicks Pacers series. Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton, that's going to be a show. Neesmith and Nemhard are as tough as Bridges and Anunoby. So it's going to be a battle of dogs versus dogs. I think Miles Turner, both Cat and Miles Turner are dogs in their own ways. I think Miles is more tougher. He's tougher versatility wise, but I think Cat has the scoring prowess, and he's an underrated defender in his own right. He just doesn't show it at times. He showed it in spurts in the series against when he was in Minnesota last year, in the series against Denver, and the series before when him and Ant and the rest of the Wolves eliminated the Phoenix Suns in sweep. So, but Cat and Turner, that's gonna be a fun matchup. Now, the thing that would concern me if I'm a Knicks fan, the depth is gonna have to play a factor here because the Pacers have a good amount of depth. They have guys that you could say that they could be starters. I mean, and obviously I forgot to mention Pascal Siakam and Josh Hart. Those guys are just do everything you need them to do that you ask them to do type players, and I love it. But I think the thing with the Knicks, they really don't have all that much depth. Whereas the Pacers, they have guys that can come off the bench and play their absolute tails off. Let me go look at the game on Tuesday between the Pacers and the Cavaliers. So they have Ben Mathurin, Obi Toppin, Thomas Bryant, T.J. McConnell, and Ben Shepherd. So those are 5 guys that I think Rick Carlisle will play in the rotation, whereas Tibbs shrinks his rotations a lot. And maybe there's a chance that Rick may shrink his rotations too. So it'll just be Ben Mathurin, Obi Toppin, and T.J. McConnell coming off the bench. But even with that, I just don't think it'll just come down to execution and turnovers, because at the end of the day, with every series, especially at this point, it'll come down to that. I also do think it'll come down to, will the Knicks sustain and maintain their health, because that was their issue coming into the playoffs last year. Obviously, Jalen Brunson got hurt at the tail end of the series. OG Anunoby couldn't really go during the Indiana series after Game 3. The rest of the Indiana series after Game 3 last year. So I think it will come down to that. The one thing I will give Indiana, though, I don't know if I said this in my Boston vid. I don't think I talked about it, but I will touch on it a little bit before I wrap this video up. Like I said, the Pacers have a little bit better. They're a little better depth wise, because all the Knicks really have coming out their bench is a bit of campaign, but mainly Miles McBride and or Deuce McBride, I should say. Shout out Deuce, and then Mitch Robinson. But I think the other 3 that I've named, with Mathurin, Toppin, and McConnell, they out-edged those two guys, well, at least Mitch Robinson and Campaign. I think Deuce McBride is their only bench player that could really go toe-to-toe with those three Bulldogs coming off the bench. So it'll be an interesting series. I think it'll be a very fun series. And then quick take on the Wolves-Thunder series. That'll be a very interesting matchup. I think same thing. I think Wolves are better. Wolves are a little tougher than OKC. I could be wrong. But, this upcoming conference finals will be very interesting. So, yeah, I'm very excited. We're in the middle of May, and second round's over, and now we get into the nits and grits, or the nooks and crannies, or whatever the hell. We get into the meat and potatoes of the playoffs. So, be a very fun time, y'all. So, yeah, those are all my thoughts. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section. Do you guys think Denver's in trouble? Do you guys think they should cut guys like Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray? Do you think they should run it back or add some more pieces? And who do y'all think is going to come out the West? Who do y'all think is going to come out the East? And if you guys want to, who do you guys think is going to win the championship? Do you think OKC or the T-Wolves? Or do you think Indiana or New York? Sound out your thoughts in the comment section below. We're about to get into some very exciting playoff basketball this upcoming conference finals. But until then, that's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.